started over there.
Yeah. Roll call vote. I'll start with you, Nick. Are you ready?
I'm present.
Carrie?
Present.
Jack? Present. Sheriff is present. And we are in public hearing for 972 Main Street. This is application for a use and dimensional special permit. I would like to invite you guys back up to the table and tell us what's happened since we saw you last. And the way I'm thinking this will probably go is I'll give you guys a chance to present the changes you're proposing, questions from the board, public comment from the audience if there is any, then we can have some discussion. So I'll let you guys, and if you could do me a favor, if you could pull the mics close to where you're talking just so that people at home. I never actually asked WinCam. Are you ready? Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot to ask that. Thank you. If you could, not that we don't see you guys frequently, but if you could again state your names for the committee, that would be great.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sid Gillot. I'm the owner for Treetop Group, and we came here for this party.
My name is Brigitte Stings, Kingston Architects, representing Treetop
You
Development.
don't need to press the button. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Not
I
killing.
think that mutes it actually.
It just knows it's always on, so you may have your hot mic moment.
And Mike Liebeck from Inkstone Architects as well.
Perfect. Thank you. And if you could, we have the slides you gave us. It looks like you also have those. So whichever is easiest, we can go through this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Perfect.
So
Yes.
thank you for
Great.
coming.
Thank
Do you
you.
want control of?
Mike, do you want to control over the, because we're
Sure,
not,
yeah.
we're in control.
Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. So,
Thank you.
good evening, everyone. We're excited to come back with news and excited to introduce what we have changed, and we have listened to your comments, but also to neighbors, and Sid was even in touch with the neighborhood to develop it further to address the concerns. And I want to walk very quickly through the changes, and then having a couple of more supplemental backing and documents we would love to share. So we have now 15 total residential units with 2 affordable units included. This is an increase of 1 more unit than we had before. Previously we had 14 units before. The 2 affordable units are incorporated in the design. That was one point. The big point was that the parking got increased, so we did instead, there are now 15 spaces in the garage with 3 increase of 40%, almost 40% from last time to 18 total parking spots for 15 units. So this is definitely an improvement. We also still show the street parking spaces. However, we took a close look and we're also in touch with the DPW for the sidelines, where we can have the public parking in front, and we, as you can see on the site map, we added striping on Glenwood, and you can see the triangle for a better vision. We moved also a little bit the landscaping to be very clear about increasing the safety at this corner. We added a 3-foot walkway, which right now there is no walkway at all, so it makes it not very safe to come around the corner. This would be an easement for the town, but the property owner would be willing to dedicate that as a safety measure, as a walkway all the way along the property. We have revised our elevations and sections. Mostly the elevations are mostly interesting. I think they're coming at the end. Yeah, no, the color. No, don't go to the colored one. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This one. We added more to more balconies to the street to foster more interaction with the street, and bigger windows which can all be opened. We still will continue to work on the facade, since the design itself is not really part of the site plan review. This will be left more or less than later to the design review board, and we will continuously improve that. What we also have included is the back elevation, where we were asked for how does it really look if you come from the back side up the hill from Glenwood. We have that. We will coming back to the intersection, because I think that's a highly important topic, particularly for the neighbors who live on Glenwood. We will continue working with the town to make this intersection a safer intersection, and work together with the town that that the Glenwood upper part can be widened. This is not entirely in our hands, because it's public, it's town land or private land on the other side, but we certainly could work as much from our property to enhance that and making that easier. In that regard, we did request a traffic report from the police department, and I can show that, but right now I'm just going to tell that, but if you're interested, we are happy to submit that. So there were 3 reported accidents in the area, not necessarily right at the Main Street and Glenwood intersection over the last 10 years. There was one which was somewhat related, one car coming out from Glenwood and one car wanted to turn into it, and it was a bumper accident. But that was the only one in 10 years which was related directly to the Glenwood Main Street intersection.
Does that include vehicle, if there were any vehicle versus pedestrian as well?
No, it was vehicle accident. So it was one car who wanted to turn right into Glenwood coming from Main Street, but had to wait and had to stop while one car was coming out and was probably too much in the middle of the street or simply too tight, and then it stopped, and the car behind on Main Street didn't pay attention and didn't brake right in time and bumped into it.
Okay,
but no bicycle, no pedestrian accident at this location.
Thank you.
So since parking is really a very important part of our discussion, and we took the letter we got from the neighbors very seriously, we did a traffic study, which I actually could bring on the screen. Maybe this is on my the thing is, it's on my computer. So we got that in the week after we submitted it. So I'm just gonna read it for now, because until we get the...
If you read it to us, could you also share it with us afterwards so we can have
Absolutely. So I put a study together which is based on the Institute for Transportation Engineers, ITE. That's a common institute which does trip generation manuals. That's basically what traffic planners use to have an understanding how much traffic an area will. It's more on a high level. So it's not Winchester, this particular intersection. It's a planning tool to understand. So it's based on 15 units, multi-family housing in a suburban neighborhood with 1 to 3 bedrooms. As a typical distribution, it divides between in an area between high frequency traffic, high frequency transportation, public transportation, and no transportation at all. We did look into the bus route, and it falls under the high frequency with 15 minutes per one bus per 15 minutes in the peak hours. So we assumed the adjusted number for high frequency public transportation in reach, which makes it at the AM in the peak hour for our property, 6 trips, 5 outbound, 1 inbound in the morning because people leave and do not come back. And for the PM peak hours, it's 7 trips, 5 inbound, 2 outbound. That makes a 0.46 per unit. Let's round it up because it's too detailed. Basically 0.5 cars per unit as a general calculation base. And then I wondered, they had a total number of 88 trips per day within 24 hours. And I was curious because when we did pull the numbers, how can that happen? Why is the peak hour so low? And the reason is that in a multifamily works differently than residential buildings. So the data, the demographics this is based on is on multifamily housing, which means they are retirees, they are people who work from home, they are not necessarily the typical one, maybe family, one leaves the house, works somewhere else, and goes exactly at the same time. Often per demographic, it's also people who do not work the 8-hour, the 9 to 5 jobs. They have irregular jobs. So that's how these numbers are generated. And in addition, the 88 trips, which seems a high number, is also factoring in the Amazon truck, which is coming, or anything else. But this is over 24 hours, so that's a much longer time span. And I did not put the numbers together for the landscape company, which is there right now, but if I would take the delta, like in the morning in the peak hours when also children go to school, or in the afternoon when they are on the street, it's not that much difference than what we have right now. That was so much for the, we have that all in graphics and all that. I can back that what I just told you.
I just have a quick question. Since
Yeah.
you have this slide out, I noticed that you have Unit 1B is at the basement level. So what is below affordable Unit 1? Or is that at the basement level as well?
One, you mean the left unit or?
The left
sorry.
unit.
So we have.
Is that on the basement level or is that on the first floor?
It is on the basement. From the front, it's on the basement level. From the back, it's on the back level. So if you the access to the affordable unit to the left one is through the window well. It has a separate entrance, this one. Mm-hmm. And the other one on the right side, the entrance is on the first floor and is connected to the unit above.
So are the floors of those two units level with each other?
Yes. The blue ones are level,
Okay.
yes. But they are not connected.
And they're at the same level as the parking garage?
Correct. That is correct.
It's just that Unit
But the-
1B, the land
Is-
around it is higher so that it covers more of it?
It's not higher. It's the same level. It's just so for the Unit 1B, you enter from the first floor. Could you go to the
Oh, I
first
see.
floor,
Oh,
Mike?
okay.
And then you go the stairs down. Do you see the
Down.
stairs?
Oh, I see.
And then
Okay.
there's a family room or a bedroom, and there's still two bathrooms. There's egress through the window wells, but it's one unit. It's not an independent unit, the 1B, what you're looking at. It's really an annex to the street level.
So it's unit 1B is 2 stories,
Correct.
and the affordable unit is a single basement.
Correct. But with a separate entrance. So it is a totally independent, like an ADU, basically, unit.
So is the bottom floor of each of those the same, or is the second floor of each of them?
The level is all the same. So what you see on this sheet of paper is all one level.
Okay,
So it's all the same level as the back driveway.
all right.
So it's all the lower level, basically, from Glenwood. So, and in the front, it makes it a basement. In the back, it's the garage doors leveled going in.
So not to belabor the point, affordable unit number 1 listed there.
Yes.
How do they access the garage?
They go around and access the garage. If we wanted to, we can make another entrance through it. Right now it says mechanical room, and we could do a corridor and come in there.
I just wanted to understand. I'm not at the point of telling
I
you how to do
just
stuff.
I found an ADU more attractive coming from the outside and be independent than rather having a garage door in your apartment where you enter into a bigger garage. From a fire perspective, it's manageable. We just need to make it fireproof, the separation. Okay, so we coming back to the traffic and parking, and we did also did some hypothetical assumptions why it's very beneficial that we stay with residential for the neighborhood, mostly because of parking and traffic. So the traffic study I showed before showed that there's not much increase, if at all, to the peak hours in traffic, while if we would assume we would have retail space on the first floor, and we would assume only a very small, let's say a hair salon or a beauty salon or barber or a retail, we end up easily with additional 8 parking people who need parking, not necessarily required by the current zoning, but as a matter of fact, that if you would assume you have a barber shop with 4 seats, you have employees who are there, you easily occupy 7 to 8 parking spaces, and they would be not on a private parking lot. They would park in the street. So that would increase the street parking tremendously. For the neighborhood, it also means that we did in general, coming back to the general design, we are enhancing with this proposed structure the current situation enormous. I mean, if you compare it to what it is now, we always have to remind ourselves what is there now and how could it be better. And it is an asset to the neighborhood. It will increase the property prices in the area, not having an old car garage sitting there. Not to mention for children also who play there and their old vehicles sitting around. The current use of the property has certainly a noise impact, as would have a commercial use. Let's say there would be a coffee shop or a restaurant in there, then the noise impact would be much greater than a neighborhood, a residential units.
I was just thinking about what if you were to have the minimum square footage of a retail space that's an amenity. So I guess what I mean by that is something for the people that live there, like a grocery, coffee, bakery, kind of thing.
It's
That would, and then what is the smallest space that you could have that is generally what's the smallest space you could have?
I think that would be very desirable. I don't know how much you can write down in zoning exactly what you're getting. Mm-hmm. You could end up with something which is not that desirable, or you could end up with then it's not a parking issue, but you get a bank, or it's not that popular anymore, but real estate, or which is also not very actively driving the neighborhood.
I mean, real estate's the worst. For store space. I mean.
But it does not increase the livelihood. So a residential unit certainly will increase the livelihood of this neighborhood compared to a car shop. Mm-hmm. That for sure. Is it desirable? Maybe, but it has a much greater impact for the neighbors around in noise, in parking, and in traffic. So that is, I do believe that that this development will strengthen the neighborhood compared to what is there now. I'm very confident that the issues with the traffic, and I do understand that Glenwood is a very difficult intersection, that this can be made safe. And it's also a good thing that the development is on the main street, so we're not driving any traffic all the way down a little street. We have it really right there where other traffic is as well. We cannot have it, I mean, we discussed that last time, we cannot have an entrance from Main Street, a driveway, because it's simply not safe. So that's not an option. So the only option for a driveway is from Glenwood, and that means we need to make this intersection safer. And I think that concludes my presentation for today. Do you want to add something, Sid? Did you?
Do you have my slides?
Oh, yeah, of course. I can do that too.
Yeah.
So we also did also looked in the commercial spaces around, or the viability, or better non-viability of commercial spaces
Could you also share this with us?
around. We can do that too. So we look particularly at the neighbor house 968 Main Street, which has been, and I have to read that. This property.
Yeah, I can talk. Because
Do you want to talk?
Yeah.
Then you
it's
talk.
better. All right. So I just want to bring to the attention, because I know we were asking for all residential and commercial, and then last time we were there, one of the item was we talked about why not commercial at this space, and then we at top of my head was a couple of other cities and towns which we have worked, and we have properties where it was very hard to rent those commercial space. So that was not a good comp, when we talk about Salem and Haverhill. So what I did for this meeting is that I have two properties, and one I want to go in detail, because this is now right in Winchester, and one of the one which I want to talk to you about is the 968 Main Street, which is actually just right next to our property. This property, if you see the history, and I went to the MLS and looked at it. It was listed in 2021 for $899. The price was dropped, and then later it was canceled. Then it was listed again in $724, $999, then canceled in October. So this was basically like a 4 to 5 office/commercial spaces, which was Winchester Federal Credit Union, some psychic reading, which I can find it, but their boards are still there. And over the period of years, all these offices, at some shape or form, they got closed or whatnot. As of right now, the property is totally gutted and is in a dilapidated state. And then I saw that this property was sold last year in December 2nd, 2024. I went there today again, and and this all Bridget can share. I asked her to include in there, and I have a bunch of pictures over there. I took a picture as of today. This property is still the same. Nothing has changed. I saw this property actually a year and a half ago as a survival to buy, and it still remains the same. Nothing has been done over there. So this property is right there. The property, and there I have pictures which you guys can see, and then the property itself, which we are talking about, the subject. There's another one, the 959 Main Street, which is across the street. This property, the history, same thing. 2009, it was listed, 169 days, canceled. 2010, it was almost a year, then got canceled. And then it was sold last in April 2022. And I went there, there's something going on, a brick building and whatnot, but it's been almost 3 years.
Which address are you referring to?
Is this the
959.
I can speak to that.
Yeah.
That's Cafe
Yeah,
Kale.
Yeah.
I spoke to the owner, he should be opening this fall.
zone, yeah.
There's activity going on there right now.
Oh, yeah, I saw there was trucks in, yeah.
They will be serving pizza and baked goods
Nice.
and deli stuff, as well as beer and wine.
If they have a bulletin board, we'll put up a sign for the psychic.
Good thought.
Yeah, so, and then this particular property which we are here for, 972 Main Street, this was a Maneki shop and auto shop. This itself has been not operating for years and years in disrepair. Right now there's a landscape operation going on. The guy used for storage and bunch of commercial come up and down. Our thing is with this residential, what we are proposing, the current use and current condition of the property will be way much better than what neighbors and you guys have concern. And we have addressed, when we came initially, there were 11 parking spots. Now there are 18. So we have like add 6 or 7, I don't the number, but we chopped up all the space which was on the basement with those 2 units. We removed and kind of add parking over there. So, and then overall, I just also want to tell, as a treetop group, our track record, you know, we started working in Winchester recently. We have some small projects. We just listed a brand new single family on the market. We have 2 townhouses coming, and this would be our 3rd project in Winchester. But we have operated in other cities and areas, and we've been over 15 years. We have worked. One thing for our track record is if we take a project, we finish the project, we don't leave it. We are very excited to do this project, and we feel like once we do this project, which is, you know, you guys have planned for it in that MSMD district, there'll be a lot of activity happening all around once there's something goes in there. So I hope that you guys take all those things under consideration, and we can keep continuing with this project.
Right, right.
Thank you.
So the increase from traffic was 40% from last time.
Oh, okay.
So we're looking for the number.
Say that again?
40% increase from last time, so from
Last time meaning what?
the last meeting.
Oh, you're talking about the parking?
And
Or 40% increase in parking.
Yeah.
Right, okay, I thought you meant traffic.
No, he's not.
Thank you very much. I'd like to have you guys stay at the table.
Sure.
And go around the table if people have questions for them. We will get to public comment after we go first through questions from the board. So I'd like to open it up to any of you to fire away. And if there are no questions right now, that doesn't mean we can't have a question later on. Speak now or remain silent.
I understand that the design is not final, and do you know when the design review committee is going to be looking at this? Have they
No,
put it on their agenda yet?
No, we wanted to do it step by step to
Sure.
have everyone on board. It depends too much on the design review. Then needs to be really the final layout and scope and so on before it changes again. So we will go as soon as we can.
I would concur with that. But what I see, the changes I like. I like the addition of the balconies. I think that it looks good. I don't have the expertise that design review committee has, but what I see, I like. I'm still kind of stuck on the commercial space because, that is part of the bylaw, or part of the bylaw that was adopted overwhelmingly by town meeting was we wanted to see multi-use. I understand what you're saying, Sid, about the constraints and all that. I get that. The bylaw calls for 66% of the ground floor to be commercial. Is that right?
Yeah, I have a question. So,
Sorry, were you still going or are you done?
No, I'm just wondering. That would take up
66% of frontage.
of the frontage. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
that's-
it could be a pretty.
Yeah.
It could be a pretty small shop.
right, it could be a small footprint. What's allowed by right?
66% of the frontage.
Oh, so there's no by right for just all all housing?
Special
that requires a
permit,
special
because that's not what the
Okay.
town wanted on this
Right, okay.
corridor.
Well, I'm just thinking,
And then if they do now, is there an incentive to be able to build higher if you?
yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah, let's set the table a little bit here. What do we need to approve this evening? They're asking for a couple of special permits.
So I think what would be most crucial for tonight is to decide whether we as a board would approve a special permit for, in principle, I'm not talking about specifically, for a project that has no ground floor commercial. If
That's
we-
our only task?
That is the first task, because if we would not, if the board says no, if there's no ground floor commercial, we are not approving this, then there's a lot of things that likely have to change on their end. I don't know that we need to get into traffic circulation, number of there's like a lot of things. So if, however, we say to ourselves, yes, we would consider a development with, in the MSMD with no ground floor commercial, then we start getting into probably traffic and sight lines and things like that. That would be the way I would recommend. I don't know if Taylor, if you have a.
It's almost a couple of steps, because I'm not sure they're hitting minimum, like, I mean, if we decide that, that changes the design, and then we have a couple more special permits to get through before we're to traffic, right? I mean, we have to make sure the units, the parking per units is correct, the open space is correct, the height is correct, those things.
Well, circulation, for instance, would we approve the parking the way it's in tandem there? Like that sort of circulation, is that, practically speaking, how does parking car number 6 get out of the parking lot if parking space number 1 is on
I mean,
vacation?
presumably
a special
they
permit.
go with one unit. Presumably it's the same owner. I mean,
I don't know. That would be.
Let's not haggle over procedure.
Right,
You're, as the
yeah.
chair, you're suggesting
I'm
tonight we
suggesting
just
that-
decide
I'm
commercial.
suggesting that if we as a board say that we would not consider a project, the first project in the MSMD with no ground floor commercial, then we don't need to belabor too much of the point, because it's going to take some work on their part to go back and decide whether they want to continue, whether they still want to do this project, and whether they want to do this project with ground floor commercial, and whether they want to come back. And it would be something that we would also decide, are we dead set on it has to be 66% frontage? Could it be something less? Could it be something less plus an affordable unit? What are we willing to? But if the will of the board is no ground floor commercial, no special permit, that's something we need to probably get out of the way sooner than later. And like I said, I'd like to also take public comment in case any of that is to that point. I think that's sort of the priority for tonight. And okay.
Okay. What's now? Comments, questions? What do you want from us?
From you guys, questions or comments, and then I'm going to ask them to sit down and let the public, any public comment, because it's a public hearing. So if you would rather reserve those questions, we can hear from the public first.
and then when do we speak among ourselves?
Yeah, well, after they've sat down and after the public comment is done.
Okay.
So public comment will come up, and then we can speak among ourselves, or we can invite them back to the table.
I will make an admirably restrained couple of comments, which are that, so West 4 is the district that we're talking about when we think about the subdivisions of the Main Street Mixed Use District, intentionally named. And this is a tough district to build because it is small lots and they abut residential neighborhoods. And it was very important to us that we highlight the fact that this is going to be the entry. This is the entry district from Woburn into Winchester, and our goal was to draw foot traffic and draw community and experience, sort of like welcome to Winchester. And so we want to create a community feel here. And I personally appreciate the attention that you're paying to the concerns of the neighbors. However, the beating heart of the bylaw is that it is the Main Street Mixed Use District, and coming into a wall of residential units is not the change that we're looking for in this district. In that they are smaller parcels, I could imagine us flexing the percent if we were presented with a compelling first floor commercial concept that didn't meet the required square footage or percent activation of the first floor, but to take the first project on this street and reject ground floor commercial is inconsiderate to many hands that worked on this. And I am considering the economic opportunity of this a developing story, because it's gone from a dead unrentable office space to so much traffic the kids are unsafe to falling down buildings surrounding it. So I think the pitch has to come from the years of research that went into writing the bylaw and not the projections of the applicant.
I'd like to support Carrie. I applaud your contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick.
I would concur with that. I'm concerned about the precedent that it would set if we had no commercial on this, because the next person would come along and make the same case, and then we have no commercial. I appreciate the bind that you're in, but I hope you see what we're saying.
So, with that,
But I think,
sorry, I'm not.
No, that's all right.
We're done.
But
Sorry.
to what you said, I think there's certainly room for compromise. It doesn't have to be 66%. We come back with something. I mean, I'm thinking of something along the lines of like a dairy barn type. You know the dairy barn down the street? Just down the street on Main Street. It's this little place.
It's tiny.
It's tiny, and they sell newspapers and soda and lottery tickets and stuff like that. And I don't know how many square feet it is. It's probably no more than, 700 square feet, less.
Tiny.
It's tiny. That kind of place where you could get these, knickknacks, things, newspapers and Twinkies.
Of course, we wouldn't get a say over it.
No, I understand that, but I'm
not arguing against
I'm just saying
anything you're
it doesn't have to be, like a hardware store. It doesn't have to be huge. But I'm just saying there are possibilities. It doesn't need to be a huge space. And I just want to consider that as a possibility.
And that's why I'm arguing that what we need to decide tonight is 0 acceptable? And if 0 is unacceptable, I don't want to speak for you. I suggest you probably have to go back and redesign if we say 0 is unacceptable and decide whether you want to go forward at all, and if you do, what it looks like. But if you're saying if we vote that 0 is not acceptable, if you think we can still keep on talking about the current design, that's up to you, but I'm not sure that we could. I mean, you know what I mean. So go ahead, sorry.
Right now, we offer. I just wanted to, because there are always pros and cons, like you just said. There's the interest of the written guidelines. There's the interest of the developer. There's the neighbors. There's also the housing. What is it called? Housing Authority Trust. I wrote it down.
Affordable housing.
But affordable housing. Thank you.
Yeah.
We offered, and maybe I didn't make it clear enough in my presentation, so this is an additional housing unit we are offering. Usually we would just go with 14 units and then offering one housing unit. So that was also kind of a give
Is that a deed
to do that.
restricted affordable?
They would have to be.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, because it's already affordable. It's market rate affordable if it's in the basement.
They would have to be deed restricted, and we would have to debate whether it could actually be that unit in the basement
And
or
there's
whether it would be a
another
different
one.
unit. But
There's one upstairs.
the two
So
units,
there are two.
there would in the proposal there are 2 units. Respectfully, I'm not sure that we would all agree that the 2 units would be the one in the basement with the separate entrance.
I'm sorry.
but-
Sorry, can I
Yeah.
interrupt you? That
Absolutely.
was a mistake in the writing. If you go through the plans, it's correct. So one is in the basement, one is upstairs.
Yeah.
One is
But there is one in the basement.
One is in the on the upper right, second floor. It says affordable. That's the second. So it's not that 2 affordables are in the basement. And that was a mistake in the write-up, which you submitted.
And respectfully, I think
Sorry.
that would be a discussion,
Absolutely.
regardless of where the locations of
So
those
the
2 are.
affordable unit in the basement is a bit of a loss, but what you're saying is that it's not as much of a loss as a loss leader retail?
I do not, as an architect, I do not run the numbers. So the business model is not with me.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Do you want to say something about what do you think?
no, we gotta relook at, that's what it is, yeah.
Okay. So why don't we take a pause
Yeah.
and let you guys sit down and let there be any public comment,
Sure.
because it's a public hearing, and then we can talk among ourselves, and if we need to have you come back up to the table, we will. But So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, but do stay here because we're going to continue. Is there anybody here from the public who would like to speak on this project?
Quite a few. Good.
Come on up if you could state your name and address. And I don't.
Hi.
We try to adhere to 3 minutes.
Sure, yeah, I'll be fast.
Yeah, I don't want to time anybody, but I want to.
It's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Justin Ko, 18 Glenwood.
Good to see you.
So, yeah, I appreciate some of the changes that they've made around cutting off the corner of the street here, additional parking. However, the tandems thing, I don't think really solves the problem that we were looking at. It's 9 units. Maybe you can have access to each two parking and adding the extra unit. It doesn't really solve the problem that I had in the beginning, which was the concern of cars on Glenwood and the safety for the kids on the street. So that's kind of my piece there. It's like I said before, I would love for something to happen here. That the current building's an eyesore, so I'd love something to work out. I would just want the numbers to work, whether it's like a right amount of parking to commercial, residential. It doesn't really matter to me. I just, as is, I don't think it's a safe proposition.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay, so I've got a couple more. Gracing us with your presence.
You're in my seat. Michelle Pryor, Precinct 4. Speaking tonight as a town meeting member who voted for the bylaw and select board chair who participated at a economic development study that recently concluded. So just wanted to reference a couple of the notes from the proponents. The fact that parking is not necessarily required by current zoning. Certainly the property, Mr. Lemenager, that you talked about where Cafe du Collier is going, we had some conversation a lot about parking at that site, and we were granting a business license, the fact that people would come and go, and people park on Main Street as is all the time. So even if it's a hair salon, a barber shop, and a bank, I don't know that people expect that there's parking behind their building. They do their business, they transact their business, and they leave. If there happen to be 2 spots behind or staff could use it, that's great, but I'm not sure that patrons expect it. Certainly not on that side of Main Street. Commercial use doesn't necessarily have to have a noise impact. The dairy barn example is pretty interesting. It need not be industrial. It need not be operating 18 hours a day. And I thought, so here I am. Long story short, we need to protect our commercial properties. The more housing we build in town, the number of commercial properties that make up the numerator of all properties just continues to shrink. We build more residential units. This could have residential units. Our percentage of residential properties is going to drop. But if the numbers can stay somewhat consistent while we build residential above, I think that's critical. We have 96% of our tax base is residential. Planning board several iterations ago in town meeting rezoned properties adjacent to Main Street that were residential and commercial, rezoned them to residential. We've removed properties from the mix in town that could have been either and made them residential. I think we should stop doing it. I voted against that change at town meeting. I voted in favor of the Main Street mixed-use district. I had lots of conversations with the former chair about streetscape, about engaging people, and I was thinking the same thing, Ms. Layton, when you were talking, that if what you saw was just a row of residential and people that wanted to go to, maybe it's not Burger King, but it's a different bagel place, you're crossing multiple blocks to get to the next business or to get to the next store. And that wasn't the vision that town meeting was told, and it wasn't the vision that town meeting voted for. And I can appreciate, I know exactly the building that we're talking about and the credit union next door. I can appreciate that it not being occupied makes it certainly unattractive and an eyesore, but it doesn't mean that every unattractive property should become residential in town. So I would encourage you to not grant a special permit, certainly not on the very first project in this district. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just thinking, I wanted to ask you, could I ask you a question?
If you would like to and you're willing to respond, but you're not required to, it's public comment. You don't have to answer questions from us.
You took a risk when you sat down.
Okay.
Well, just in terms of
You don't have to answer it.
your
I know that.
opinion of the economic viability of the vision in terms of mixed use.
Fair question. I think Taylor participated with me on that economic development study, And the viability of, we don't know what the right mix is. I think Cafe du Cali will be interesting as people are, getting something to go. I think we have the Dairy Barn, like Mr. Manager talked about. We have kind of the newsstand downtown across from Burgers. We have very little in between of that grab a gallon of milk, grab a newspaper, grab a loaf of bread.
Right.
Stop and Shop is pretty far from that, and there's nothing, you have to kind of go to the Quick Mart in Woburn. There's Town Pantry.
yeah.
But that's still half the distance, and then you're going into Woburn to go to the Quick Mart.
Yeah.
So whether that's the right thing that's quick, whether it's, maybe not another real estate agency, no offense to my friends that are realtors, that doesn't drive foot traffic, I'm not sure it needs to be bagels.
Yeah.
But I think there's more we could do, and people do work from home. And I'm not sure that there isn't another computer repair store.
I mean, it always was
and
nice
office
to-
goods that doesn't, people blow up printers all the time. I think I do. So maybe we need that. I can't speak to that, Nick, but a lot of time and effort went in on the town side to think about not just this unit, but, the whole, not Loring, but Holton and Cross, and what could we do, and where could we have light industrial? I think we need to be creative, and we certainly need to give it a try. That's my
Yeah, I
sense.
think you make a good point. This is the first one, and this is a precedent-setting one. I don't know what all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but
Yeah, if I did, I'd probably be an economist, and I wouldn't be here.
Run for planning board.
I will say,
That likely would not happen.
Hear that.
yeah. I will say, when I lived in the city, it was nice to run downstairs and grab a snack and run back up.
And see people.
Yeah.
It's a community pulse point.
Thank you, Chair Pryor.
I'm going to leave it out. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I believe we had at least one. Come on up again. Not going to start timing, but try to keep your comments, name and address, and keep your comments under 3 minutes if you can.
My name is Aldo Torquato. I live on Glenwood Street. I've been there for 5 years. Just the first question to the board. What's the 66% rule? Is it 60% of the building has to be residential?
Frontage.
Frontage.
Has to be activated, commercial business.
Of the first floor, is that right?
Of the first floor?
Yeah.
Okay.
2/3, in other words.
So you're proposing to have, we have about 15, 17 houses on the street right now. There are two there on another street, but they use that street because their garage is in the back. So you're proposing to double that, another 15, 16. And I think that's going to create a bottleneck right at the end of that street. In the mornings when I take my kids out, there's a bus stop right in the corner. That's where they get picked up. And if you have people coming in and out of that, that's going to be right where they stand, Blocking the view, it's already pretty bad coming out, so you can see traffic. And having a wall of a building with 15 units in there, it's going to block the view, making it harder to get out, harder to view, unsafe for the kids. There's a fire hydrant right in that corner, which in the winter, I come out and shovel that, so make it easier for the firefighters. Are you going to propose to maintain that, keep that clean and accessible? So there are kids in the street, there are difficulties getting in and out because of the conditions. So if you don't have a sidewalk or things like that that are going to make that easier, it's not going to be any safer, So, and I was thinking, even in the snow, how are you going to clean that? And with a small yard like that, shuffling 15 cars in and out to clear the yard, having the trash barrels for all those people in there, it doesn't seem like you have the room for all those many units. So it's hard to see and agree to all that many. Why that many, That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Is there any additional public comment? No, I'll close public comment. So we are back where we are. Appreciate the public comments we got. I still say that my suggestion is we make a decision as far as whether we would consider and accept, not necessarily this, but a special permit for this development at this site with no ground floor commercial. And we can discuss this. If somebody makes a motion, say essentially that we would not accept it or that we would accept it, then we can go ahead with that, give them some guidance. And if the answer is no, we wouldn't, I think we should spend some time talking about if there are negotiations, as you said, like maybe not 66%, maybe we would accept something less, and maybe we wouldn't. I don't know. but do you have any thoughts?
I mean, I guess I'm just going back to Kerry's comments that, you know, we work very hard to kind of foster a vision of lively streets, and you know, the idea that there are shops within walking distance. So I'm wondering, you know, my first question, you know, just between the five of us, you know, where did we go wrong in terms of the incentives? And I'm sort of facetious because I believe in the goal, and I think that there is a precedent being set, and I'd like to see the retail. I'd like to see the vision realized of an active streetscape where people are walking. Having lived in the city, I very much enjoyed that aspect and liveliness of the community. And I think it would start to build a community here that is vibrant and lively. So, you know, I guess I'd like to try to make it work. I'd like to understand the economics better, but make it work with the retail. And I'm not sure.
You mean commercial in general?
With the commercial, with the retail.
May not be retail. I just want to be clear.
Oh, with the commercial, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a risk that we'd have to take, and I don't know whether there are certain price points that attract certain types of businesses, but so I can't answer that, but I guess I would support the position that was put out. That I think, and given that this is the first one, I mean,
I hear a motion brewing, Nick. Go for it.
How would we structure a motion?
Well, before you make a motion,
Okay,
I'm just going to say
why don't we talk more?
I was going to say, I just want to say that I generally agree with what you both have said. Actually, all three of you. The difference is, if there were things in exchange for the lack of ground floor commercial, I could consider it. I'm not sure I've seen that yet. So if
like what things?
I would say additional affordable housing. I appreciate there was additional unit. I appreciate there was an additional unit that. But when you go to 15 units, the requirement is 2 affordable units. So in fact, it's because 15 units requires 2 because we round up. So I would consider a no commercial on the ground floor.
Right.
If there, for instance, were an additional affordable unit.
But if it's all the same, I think if it's all the same economically, I would prefer to have the commercial.
And I'm not telling you what you should prefer or not.
Right.
I'm saying that in my opinion, I would be willing to make that concession, especially given where this is located. But I haven't seen that concession offered.
I mean, for what it's worth, we are following a bylaw. It's
Yeah.
not a poker game. I mean, it's like the bylaw was written with the request for special permits to be applied for things that were not considered optimal for that district. And so offering the suggestion that, with enough of an incentive on the applicant side, that we would flex a law that we spent time writing seems disingenuous and like kind of a waste of time. Like it sort of seems like where do we go wrong? We go wrong if we don't defend the work that we did.
We don't defend the work we did, yeah.
So,
I don't know that we've gone wrong yet.
Right.
Respectfully, I think that's exactly what a special permit is for. When someone wants to do something that's allowed by a special permit, and we negotiate what you have to do to get that special permit.
Under extenuating circumstances that make the by right infeasible. Or, this is an affordable building, I mean.
I'm just saying, I'm not trying to convince you to vote any different way than you want to. I'm saying where I stand. We're 4 members of the body. We're not required to have the same opinion, all 4 of us. Otherwise, we'd only need 1 member on the body. So, but I will welcome any motion. I would suggest the motion would be something along the lines of move to not support any development at 972 that doesn't contain ground floor commercial, and then we can have a discussion about how much that would have to be, but that the absence of ground floor commercial would be, if that's what people want.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to make that motion. I can't make any motion.
But it's time to haggle procedure. Is this an application for a special permit yet, or we're before that?
So the whole, this whole thing is an application for a special permit.
Okay, so we should move to decline the application for special permit.
I would not do that, because there are many other aspects of the special permit. This is just one part of the big special permit. So what I would do is have a vote to say that if the developer wants to continue with this project, a project without commercial would not be accepted.
Okay, so Brian's language is exactly correct.
Well, that's even better. His language is even better.
Okay, can I say so moved to something Taylor said?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, you can.
So moved.
All right, I'll second.
Further to the point, I agree with it, but I'm also have to say that the comments from the public, particularly Mr. Kao, was that this would be an improvement to the neighborhood, no question about it. This is what's there now has been there for so long, and it's a real eyesore, and I'm sure it's unpleasant for people who live there. This is a lovely design in my non-architect opinion, and I think it would be an asset to the community. But I'm stuck on the commercial aspect, and I agree with Ms. Layton and Mr. Rosettos. Sorry.
Any additional discussion? So, respectfully, we're just going to sit a vote among the board, and then.
I have a formal
Can Can we take questions by motion or no? No. Okay. So further on the motion, as a courtesy to the applicant, is it worth, are there, thinking through any other parts of this that, no, we're going to stick to,
I think we should stick to this.
okay.
But
And just the
after-
idea of
yeah.
like we're not meeting very frequently over the summer, so.
Feels like with the direction this might go.
Okay.
After we vote, I think we should discuss if we are amenable. Well, let's see
right,
how the
let's
vote
take a
goes. So, all in favor?
And to clarify what that, and I reject the application with a 0% ground floor commercial.
Yeah, you would.
I would reject. I
mean,
would.
would you say that could you say that you would like to see the zoning law applied as written? And that is
No, we're
66.
sticking to the motion. We have the motion. I'm just clarifying that everyone knows what they're
Yes,
saying when they
motion.
Yeah,
vote.
that's right.
All right.
So, Carrie,
Aye.
Jack,
Aye.
Nick.
Aye.
I will abstain, so that is 3-0. So what that means is that we would not accept this proposed application without ground floor commercial. Now, before we do anything more, is the board willing to consider less than 66% frontage?
I am.
I'm not sure.
I'm willing to consider less than 66%, but not 0. I mean, do we want to consider a threshold or like a?
That is entirely up to you all. I mean, I think the real question is, a threshold makes sense. But we're going to, I mean, they're right here. We're going to tell them they've heard, and they'd like probably some guidance so they can go back and decide, is this something they still want to do? And if they do still want to do it, I don't think they want to come back with 10% and say, well, no, 10% doesn't do it. I think some guidance would be helpful to say what it is, but I don't know if we have to say 40%. I think a range would be helpful or something. I don't know.
I would suggest a range between 40 and 50 because I'm thinking, just for the sake of argument, if you put the commercial space on the right side, you still want the entrance in the middle. And I don't want to, and the entrance could serve both the residents and the commercial space.
Yeah.
So estimation, 40%. I don't know what that would be, but I would think that might be sufficient.
Not less than 40 and
Yeah.
up to 66%.
Yeah.
So 66 is not a limit.
Yeah, it's not a limit, but
So not less than 40 is what you're.
yeah, not less than 40.
So do we want to vote that, or do we would not? So we just want to give that guidance.
Yeah, we'd be-
that we would consider.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not less than 40%.
functionally half of the first floor is commercial with a room for an entryway. I think Jack put that well.
Okay. So with that, I think I'd like to, should we continue to the next meeting? Okay. I would welcome a motion to continue to this public hearing to our meeting on the 19th of August, but let me double check that.
I was going to wondering that myself.
Yes, double check. Yes, it's the 19th of August. So I would welcome a motion to continue this public hearing to the 19th of August.
So moved.
So, second,
Sorry.
sorry.
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. So we are done with this public hearing. I would welcome you to reach out to Taylor to work on your next steps as far as the development. And I thank you for your time, and thank you for everything.
Thanks a lot, and apologies
Thank you.
for interrupting.
No,
I was just
no.
not clear about the process. I thought if it's I wasn't clear if it's voted on that we cannot continue and we wanted to continue this.
Yes, you can continue.
But I thought.
Yeah, no, you can continue.
We wanted to continue.
Yeah.
Thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. So with that, we will move on to our business. And I'm sorry it's been taking a long time. I appreciate everybody who's here. Oh, yes, and we have a member to welcome back to the table.
I see.
That's why.
I don't know.
It's getting hot in here.
Welcome, thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
We will start with ZBA petitions to review. The first one will be, well, I should just see who's here for which. Is there somebody here for 18 Olive? Is there someone here for 36 Cambridge? Is there someone here for 5A Fernway? Okay, so we're going to go in the order of 18 Olive because it's first on the agenda. We will bypass 36 Cambridge because there's no one here for 36, and we'll go back to that. So we'll go 18 Olive first, then we'll jump to 5A Fernway, and then we'll do 36 since there's no one in the room for that. So if you could come over to the table for 18 Olive, state your name and address for the committee, and I will let Ian also give Kia.
Is there a summary?
I'm going to have Ian do that for us. But if you could just state your name and address for the committee, and I'll let Ian sort of kick off this.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Zakim, and I'm here representing Mr. Waldery Lima, who's the owner of 18 Olive Street. And I'm here to request a special permit for reconstruction after demolition of the existing dwelling, and as well a special permit for a second driveway and approval for the site plan.
Okay, perfect. Ian, is there anything you want to, because you gave us a memo about the details of this, is there anything you want to add to that before
Which buildings are demolished?
Pardon?
Which building is
18
demolished? Or has it been demolished?
No,
Oh,
it's
it's
not
still there. I
demolished.
drove by today.
Okay.
So Ian, if you just want to tell us a little bit about this, because you gave us a memo about this, and then you can tell us more about what you're going to propose and do.
Yes, she summed it up well. So more specifically, the proposed building needs to have a special permit for 3.5.7 reconstruction after casualty or voluntary demolition, due to the fact that it'll one, exceed the gross floor area of the original building and will also be located outside of the original footprint. That's the first special permit. The next one is due to the applicants seeking to add a second driveway entrance. So under section 5.1.10, you're allowed to seek a special permit In this case, because the proposed entrances will be 9.8 feet apart, whereas the bylaw states that a minimum separation of 40 feet is required for 2 driveways on the same lot. And then finally, the site plan approval is seeking under section 9.5 for a new construction project with a total gross floor area of 4,558 square feet, and this exceeds the 3,600 square foot maximum allowed.
Fantastic. Thank you. So now-
Summarizes it pretty much.
Okay, so we have actually some do you
Yeah.
want to be? It's going to be way down in there.
Yeah,
because-
I was trying to.
Like I said, all the
Do you have-
hydrodynamic data is there.
Wait, what? Don't you want to look at that?
You don't think I want to look at all the hydrodynamic data?
But you've studied it this weekend.
I did. I took fluid mechanics in college, so I'm.
I'm not.
Further down.
You're our guide.
But none of that bears on our decision, right? So we shouldn't include it.
And what we're
It's really engineering. We're
we can get a few.
if engineering is.
But our packet, we shouldn't get 500-page packets when 200 pages are.
That'll come up during the preliminary.
200 pages would be just fine.
Really tired tonight, Taylor. I'm just trying so hard to stay
About that
appropriate.
step increase.
I'm gonna try not to laugh until I cry.
You had to buy paper.
Touched a nerve, Jack. You touched a nerve on a sleep-deprived woman.
So, so we're demolishing 2 houses and building 1?
Demolishing
Historical.
Just
one
one.
house
further.
and building one house.
One larger house.
One
In the,
small
in the, in
house.
the, in the same, I thought they said they bought 2 properties.
No,
That's the house.
that's the house right there.
That's the house currently.
Yep, the boat's still there.
Trying to get this.
Does anyone live in the house at the moment?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's currently living there. I'm sorry. So this is I think a better picture. Do I have to click here
You can scroll down here.
just to get it larger? Yeah. So this is the existing house, and this is the existing driveway. This is the current condition of the house. This is the entrance. This is just the surrounding neighborhood. This is the front part of the house. And what we're proposing, I'll just go to the architecturals.
Thank you. There are many pages. in the
Yes, I'm
packet, but that's
sorry.
okay.
Well, we're actually proposing a 4-bedroom, 4-bath house, just going up.
Yes.
So this is the, and going here to zoom out. This is the house that we're proposing. This is the garage, entrance to the porch. These are the elevation views. And I'll try to zoom in. So typically, we're looking here at the garage, the entrance, the kitchen, bathroom, another entrance from the garage, a sunroom, and I believe that's a dining room. And then we go on to the next floor as well. We have 3 bedrooms, bedroom, bath, laundry room, another bath, and bedroom, master bedroom. These are the floor plans of the house.
Do you have a site plan?
Yes. So the site plan, I believe, that's the landscape. This
The
is,
existing house is,
It's the existing, isn't it?
no, that's the new.
That's
the
proposed, okay.
existing, you can see it somewhere that I remember seeing.
try to zoom in. So typically, there's already an existing curb right here, and this is the existing driveway. We're keeping that accessible for the neighbor. So what we proposed was having a second curb cut with another driveway, enabling us to enter the house and to the garage to this area.
Was that a shared driveway? Or
This is a shared driveway,
the
correct?
existing that you want to maintain?
We're going to keep that, the existing driveway, but we want to have our own driveway
Yes.
into the house.
Right. This was
Yeah.
a shared driveway that
Right.
the neighbor needs.
Yes. Yeah, we're not blocking off his entrance to his house here. We would just like to have our own
Sure.
driveway.
No, so I have
But you're narrowing that driveway, or no?
No, we're not narrowing, we're just, because we have to maintain 20 feet
Right.
for the curb cut, so we basically cut that in half, 10 feet for this driveway to enter and 10 feet for us.
So that's continuous, so 20 feet, you're saying?
No.
10 and 10?
10 and 10, it's not continuous. The curb has to be,
There's a break in it,
yeah, there's still the curb here.
right there, okay.
Yeah, it's not continuous.
All right.
Just, we're just separating our driveways and maintaining his driveway so that he can still access his house.
So his driveway, the neighbor's driveway, has to drive on, what's the address? 18 Olive. In order to get into his parking space, he has to drive on 18 Olive, or can he pull down? Is there a reason the car here can't pull here, must pull here to get down there? Is what I'm trying to understand.
We just centered it out in the middle of his driveway.
I guess, is there an easement there? Have they been sharing the
There's an
pavement
easement
for-
that shows right here somewhere.
What's this? Is that their house?
I believe so. No, that's not in house. This is the easement.
Oh, okay, but I don't know what this rectangle is here.
Yeah, me neither. I do not believe that is.
Because you've got something like that over here that I would indicate.
It's this driveway, right, between that and the greenhouse?
Yes, yes, it's already existing.
I think,
Yeah, that's the correct photo.
Jack, what you're saying there?
Yeah,
The other black line there?
yeah.
Looks like they're showing the distance to the property
So this is the
line.
existing
That probably
driveway.
is.
And this is the easement in the,
Mentioned in either deed. Is shown on plan
Yeah,
920 of 1985.
Yeah, the side of that house they're both straight
Right.
back.
And they've been sharing the driveway for many years.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, and you,
Common law.
But I mean, for instance, we share our driveway with our neighbors. If we decided to rip out our driveway and put a line of trees, their driveway is big enough for their car to pull in
Right.
fully. It's not like we go into one driveway. That's what I was trying to ask, is there one entrance that then opens up to two spots in the back? Is the resident of whatever the house is here, are they required to drive onto the property of 18 Olive in order to get to?
oh,
their-
no. You mean like,
No.
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 It's,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, they have,
Okay, so that makes sense. So I'll be honest, I have a problem with the two driveways. I don't understand why we need to keep it, when you put in the new driveway in front of the house, I'm not sure why you need to retain the old driveway. I don't understand it. It might be a good reason, but I don't understand
do
it.
you have the dimension of the existing shared driveway? Just how wide it is?
I'm not sure if it shows on,
I mean, could we scale it? Do we have a drawing?
is it,
There we go.
yeah, it should,
I mean, if there is an easement, then, it's described in the easement on the deed.
It said it was not on any deed. It said, an
It's- there
easement,
is-
I listed on no deed, it said.
Okay, so there's no... Okay.
Just wonder when the driveway was laid, if it was laid at the same time for both houses.
Probably.
Yeah, I bet it was...
yeah, it is a shared driveway.
Well, I understand
Yeah.
that, but what house was, I didn't look it up, but which house came first? And did they put a driveway in there? And the other guy came along and said, well, I'm gonna have a driveway there
I
too.
think the cars came after the houses,
You just-
you know?
Just do a quick.
I have a situation like that.
The address next door is,
Carrie, can you show me that in it, or I guess I
Yeah,
can pull it up
here.
myself.
22 is next door, so let me see what that,
Yeah, okay. So the cars entirely park on the neighboring house. The cars entirely park on their
their
land,
property, yeah.
Right.
on their property. So that is obvious to anything we're seeing here. There's no need to retain that second driveway and curb cut that I understand. I mean, there might be a desire to be able to park a boat there or whatnot, but given that required to have a distance between the driveways in our bylaws, I'm not sure why we would recommend favorable action on that aspect.
How will we enter our garage here?
You would, how would you enter?
Yeah,
the new
let me
driveway
go.
that you're proposing.
When you did
Yeah.
this, you would remove that driveway and put your new driveway right there. Get into.
So we will not give our neighbor any access to his house, or
guess-
not allow him to?
What we're kind of missing are the dimensions, you know? Of that, of any of it, really. The dimensions of the shared driveway.
Of the
and
existing?
where the property line is.
I thought I just asked, and forgive me if I asked poorly, the neighbors, when they pull into their driveway, they park entirely on their own land, driving up their driveway, which is on their land.
They're half of the
Do
driveway.
they need to swing out into the other side to get to where they need to park, or can they just stay?
Yeah, sorry.
Just for point of reference, the 18 Olive Street house that we're looking at was built in 1880. The house next door, which shares the driveway, 22 Olive, was built in 1949. Whether that's relevant, I don't know, but
No, has there been a demolition delay, or is that expired?
it's expired.
Yeah, it's,
I mean, it's another, well,
Pickle, because what happens to that space if it's not driveway anymore? If we're asking them to close the curb cut?
Turn it to
Yeah,
grass,
good luck.
dirt,
Yeah,
whatever,
I guess-
they want.
Permeable
my-
surface.
My suspicion is that they need that driveway, because why would the applicant keep it? Yeah.
Park a
so,
boat.
For the boat,
There's a boat in the picture, park a boat. Who knows?
For the, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
so we're suggesting to close this off and open a complete entire driveway for this house?
do we, yeah, the,
I guess what I was
Why?
asking and
Why?
proposing is to eliminate this driveway right here and make your new driveway to your house right there, which is where you want the driveway for your new house.
if the garage is up front, though.
The garage is, wherever the garage is.
The garage is right
Right
here.
there. There's no, that you've represented, there's no need for this driveway because the neighbors can park on their driveway, on their land, unless I'm
like,
misunderstanding.
maybe they used it to turn around or something.
I'm not sure that would be enough. I mean, I think it wouldn't be enough for them to come in, basically. I'm not sure.
So it says existing driveway.
There, 10 feet.
That's the opening of their driveway. Yeah, I would suggest that's like maybe less than 10 feet right here. Would that be enough for them to?
10 feet's not
That's pretty narrow.
the
Yeah.
proposed curb cut. What's a normal driveway? 20. Oof.
Well, so I see a note there, it says driveway easement plan, existing driveway easement plan. Is that, what year is that?
1985.
Yeah.
it says.
Yeah.
The easement right
Wait, so
here
can
that goes in right.
So there is an easement.
But it said on the
So if a
there wasn't
normal
any-
driveway
I'm
is
just-
20 feet, can the neighbor have a legal driveway without this relationship?
There's a lot going on in this project that is not, there's no legal proof of it, it's seeming like, for a lot of shared activity.
You know, is that those hash marks there on the edge of the easement,
This?
on the neighbor's side there,
Oh, this.
that's a building. So
I mean, it
I don't
seems
think, it
like,
doesn't seem like a building.
it seems
it's
like
not.
there's a lot of,
Maybe it was a building? Has this
'Cause-
has the structure
yeah, what
changed?
is, you know, if it is, then the car would have to park between the building and the street.
It's not, though. Did you see the driveway?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't
I
seem
don't,
so.
I don't understand, yeah. I'd have to, so,
Are there other issues in addition to the driveway that we're concerned about? It seems like we're spending a lot of
There's-
time
I don't
on
think
the
that's a
driveway.
building.
Is that what you're showing them?
To me, that was my biggest issue, although I had another question.
I mean,
But-
it is an example of another small house being torn down to build a monstrous house, but I don't know, and I'm going to ask Taylor. I'll ask Taylor, is that a reason to vote no? Or I mean, I don't know that we have, I don't know that that's a reason. I think we have to go by.
We're just talking about the curb cuts. Ian, is that correct?
No, well,
Also, the gross footage of the house.
yeah,
The gross footage.
As
Curb
well as-
cuts and gross footage.
So there would be a new curb cut, and then the next house down, which I take it is 16 or 14, also has a curb cut, so there's not going to be a lot of median strip here on that street.
I mean, if that, you know, as I,
Let's get the tree committee involved.
I think the answer is,
Desert.
if there's an easement there, they can't eliminate it.
That's
Right.
what my understanding was.
There is an easement and they can't eliminate
Look
it.
at that.
So there's
Yeah.
there's an understanding that's not in writing. Is that basically
Yeah.
where we are?
Well, it
Yes.
says there's an easement,
The
there's a
handshake
plan.
easement.
No, there's
Yeah, we need more
a
information.
plan number there.
You're not the attorney, are you?
No, I'm not.
You're the architect?
I am just a project manager
Okay.
working with Mr.
Just
Wilder.
Regretting a lot.
Okay.
But we have Cabral attorneys working on this.
Well, that's a good question for them.
I think the reason they want
Good question. We probably need more information.
Side by side, don't
the
they?
reason it's got to be that, the only thing I can think of is there's an easement and they can't close it up because there's an easement.
Well,
That would be,
we're
but we
advisory,
don't, we
so
don't
we can-
have, if we were to
I don't
look at
think
the
they'd
deed,
fit.
we could see it.
well, they must fit because they fit cars side by side. Presumably, both houses at one point have two cars in there. So,
Looks like you could do it.
so my second question, which first was about the driveway, second is, are there any trees to be proposed to be removed from this?
There's no trees on the,
It didn't look like there were any, but
Not on the lot, no.
nope.
That's what I'm saying. We need to put this
Okay.
on the list for planting.
so are there additional questions or comments?
Yeah,
about this?
I was struck by the sheer size of the thing. This is a 4,500 square foot house. It would make it by far the largest house on the block. I did a quick rundown of the assessor's database. There's about 15 houses on it. It's a dead-end street with a cul-de-sac at the end. Currently, the largest house is 2,600 square feet. Most of the houses on the street range in the mid 1,500 square foot range.
Yeah, it's way out of scale for the
So this is way out of scale for the neighborhood. I mean, I think, I don't have a problem with the design per se, but I just think it's just too large. And when you come, that side view, which would be the, I think the east side, as you're coming down the street, because it's a dead end, you got this big blank wall. I don't know if we can go back to that elevation.
The architecturals.
Yeah, the elevation where you see the, it just struck me that it was a,
Yeah, Ian, if you
And it
want.
dead ends at the railroad? Was that right?
yeah,
It's
it
behind
comes to a double
Yeah.
turnaround.
the- behind the cul-de-sac.
Yes, yes.
Right there.
Get warm, there it is. So this is what you'd see as you're coming up from Florence Street. And I would guess that the existing house probably is comparable to about maybe here. I don't know precisely, but I would guess it's about there. They're just, then you got all this.
Yeah, I
blank
saw
wall
that too.
here.
If there's an
No
easement, you
windows
can't
or
do that.
anything. It just kind of hits me like a.
Read the
And the
terms of
front of
the
it is the
easement.
garage. So
Yeah.
as far
Yeah,
as
the
what does it
front-facing
do for the
garage, if
street?
they kept the street, if they kept the wide garage, they could have a side-facing garage, maybe.
Yeah, if it was a,
If they kept the wide driveway.
Yeah, see,
can't
there's a
make that
thought there.
You can't.
yeah.
No,
Can't
it's-
what?
You couldn't, in 20 feet, you
Only
can't
20
do
feet, you
it.
can't.
No.
Could you put the garage in the rear? And have keep the driveway that exists and have a,
You
Have the-
really, you cannot make that turn in 20. It's, You can't do it in 20. I mean, there are ways you can't.
Turn around.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
All right.
So,
very difficult. I
No, but I mean, if you came around from the rear of the house and had the garage entrance in the rear, so you have this area in the back, be a lot of pavement, I understand, but you would get the garage off the street.
so you drive down and then kind of return to the house.
Yeah.
Turnaround's kind of a pull into the garage.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot of.
A lot of shoveling.
It would be a lot of pavement.
Yeah.
A
Certainly.
lot of pavement.
Just a thought.
Pavers.
Just a thought. But
Or,
I'm,
yeah, it would be, anyway, it would be what,
I'm just sensitive to these, what we call snout houses. The snout houses, when you see the garage right there.
Yeah, it's something we try to discourage.
Who's building the house? Is it the owner or is it a
Long narrow
developer?
lots are tough.
sort of,
He's the developer.
It's a developer. It's on
No,
an
he
owner.
is. The owner is the developer.
Okay, is it for
Plans to
him or
live
is
there?
it for someone else?
No, for him, yeah.
so we're
And is there a family? What's the nature of the family? How many kids?
we're,
But this is where Taylor needs to rein me in. In terms of what
we're
we're voting on.
advisory on these points of the special permit and site plan approval, and who's going to live
It just
there.
seems like
Who's
it's
going to live there and what they're
It
going to
seems
do.
like it's a very large house to me.
I
And
agree.
it seems like the rules to have it be limited to 30 or whatever it was square feet are put there for a reason.
So I would welcome a motion.
And I don't think why are we wasting all this time on this right now?
I agree. So we're going to make an advisory. I'm not trying to silence you.
Right,
Making a motion along the lines of what is here, and we should make sure we. I mean, I know that Jack's going to include our discussion on this, but make a motion, and we will pass it on to ZBA, and they will take that and use that as they move forward. I welcome that. I think there are reasons to be concerned about this, but also if we get too deep into who's developing it and who's going to live in it and what kind of cars are they going to have, I think we could find ourselves, off track. Respectfully.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's what I expect. I need to be,
So I would welcome a motion on this if somebody has a motion they want to make on this.
Two separate points, or you want a
You could do
motion
any
that
way you
covers
want.
both?
And then make sure we just have details listed here. Actually, if you don't mind, I'll ask you to sit back down
Yeah,
there,
sure.
and that way we can finish this.
Sure.
Sorry, I'm not
problem.
trying to be rude. I just
No,
want
no, not at all.
So I would move to recommend unfavorable action on the increase in square footage for the house on the basis that it's out of scale for the neighborhood.
I would second that.
Any discussion on that?
You can edit the wording however you want to.
I'm going to let him get the exact word down. Jack, type that down before we.
Got it.
Any discussion on that? I want to ask a question before. Are we thinking about a second motion based on the driveway, or are we not thinking about a second motion?
I am not. I think we say nothing. I don't know what to do about the driveway.
I
because
don't have
don't
enough
think-
information to
yeah,
talk about
I
the
don't-
driveway.
I left it out.
hope that whatever we write up will include to the ZBA.
Yes.
Learn more about the driveway.
Yeah, so I think
There-
as a
there-
second, motion, we took no action on the driveway because we felt we lacked information about the boundary, about the requirements of the easement, or the, whatever the word I'm looking for. That's not parameters, but it's
I think it's
close.
simply a matter of that there was
Terms.
too many
Terms.
unknowns in order to make a motion.
So we have the first motion of the only motion on the table. Should
We move unfavorable action for the request for the special permit as it presents, because it's unfavorable, out of scale for the neighborhood.
And we have a second for that.
Mr. Rosados?
Okay, let's do a roll call vote for that. Nick?
Aye.
No.
Okay.
Hi.
Jack?
Aye.
Chair votes no, so the vote is 3-2. Does somebody want to make a motion that we make basically a motion of no motion, or did you just want to capture the driveway issue in your
Comments?
comments? It's up to you. If somebody makes a motion, we're happy to do that. If they don't, I mean, to me, I'm going to be honest, that's my big concern, but I'm not going to make a motion on that because
I don't think we know that if we, I agree with you, there's nothing compelling to require 2 curb cuts without the proper distancing, but we don't know that we're not violating terms of an easement. So it sort of puts us in a pickle.
True.
Yeah, we don't know enough about,
Yeah.
I mean, half the curb cut, by right belongs to the other house. They got a curb cut,
Right.
I don't know,
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
a little,
And how much of their driveway quality of life is dependent on this?
and is that curb cut, because it's an easement, it's theirs, does it really mean that you need the 40 feet? Because it's a little,
Yeah.
we need to understand it better.
So can you capture that?
Yeah,
So I see no reason for a second motion then?
no, I don't think so. I think if we have it in the comments, and the ZBA will be happy.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I just have, so it's a no for a second motion, so we don't need to prepare anything else?
Well, what we do is make advisory for the ZBA.
Okay.
So
The 3-2 was a no.
the 3-2 was a no. It was an unfavorable action by a vote of 3-2. But the ZBA is free to make their decision based on the advice of everybody who comes before them. We're just advisory. So we're not saying no because we can't say no.
Yeah,
The ZBA says no or yes.
I understand. Is there anything I can prepare for more information for the curb cut or?
That would be for you and the ZBA, but I would learn everything you can about it, including the
Just talk to your
easements,
neighbor.
getting copies of those easements if they exist. Dimensions, understanding all of that, maybe getting notes. I mean, this is just my advice, getting notes from the neighbors, but that's between you and the ZBA. I don't want to step on their toes.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm sorry it's gotten so late, but we're going to move directly to 5A Fernway, which is you guys. So if you could come on up to the table.
I want you on this.
And welcome. If you could state your name and just pull over another chair. You can grab another chair and just make sure you're speaking to the microphone. Otherwise, the WinCam can't hear you.
Chris Meyer.
Michael Daly, owner of 5A Fernway.
What page is this on? Fred Anderson, landscaper.
Okay. Thank you very much. And
653.
Ian, well, when you get a chance, we're asking you to do two things at once. I'm going to let you tee it off, Ian, and then once we get to all the way, we have a lot of data in this packet.
Yeah. Good. Took some time.
A lot.
Took some time.
It's warm in here.
It is warm in here.
I think they turn off the air conditioning
I know
at
they do.
8 o'clock.
Oh, they turn it off at a certain time?
It's just on a timer.
I thought I heard it go off. Well, it's still cooler than 100 degrees outside today,
Yeah.
so.
You know what? I'll let you guys kick it off while he's pulling it up and tell us about what you're proposing to do, and then I'll let Ian pull this up while you guys are getting ready. You can sort of kick off what you're proposing.
It's just going to be adding a pool in the backyard.
Okay.
And the reason we're here, I think, is because of the 6% grade change over 500 square feet. So I think that's the whole reason.
So
Night of Nemesis after Nemesis.
how much area are you changing greater than 6%?
There's actually a site plan with it drawn on it, shaded out.
I mean, is it 1,000 feet or 5,000?
It's 1,200 square
Of
feet.
52.
Okay. It's not.
So, and
And we have 100% of water retainage in the plan that we were required to do, so there's not a whole lot that we're disturbing. We're not taking any trees down. We're just going to retake space that is outside of the 25-foot buffer, which we've already gotten approval from. This is really just, a lot about your requirements from the town, and we've done it. We've exhausted ourselves trying to prove our point, and I think
so
this is a.
So what is the change in grade of that 1,200 feet? What's the average change? If it's not 6%, it's
Well, so what we're doing is we're taking an area. I can walk over and show you.
Sure.
Is it easier for me to do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
But there is actually like a shaded site plan that shows it all. There's so many things in there that.
All right, there you go. That help? So if you have one that shows the plot plan that shows the entire yard, there you go. That helps. Go down the page a little bit. Nope, the other way. Here you go. Okay, so there is an existing wall right here. You see this right here?
That came out and over and here and there. So all we're doing is we're expanding from here to here, and we're repurposing this space right there. That's it. Everything else is staying the same level as it was before, and we're taking this and making it the same level as this. And that's it. That's the area of concern. We're saving this tree right here as a big pine tree. There are no trees bigger than there's no trees that are coming down that are bigger than 6 inches. They're all smaller than that. It's all small stuff. And then we're replanting and revegetating this area to help compensate for the minimal loss from this little spot that we're occupying. That's it.
Sounds like you've been before Concom. Is it the house
Yes.
or the pool that's in the buffer zone?
It's the pool. The pool is in the buffer zone.
Did they approve it already?
They did approve it.
So you're
100%.
great change.
Oh, good. It's just about grade change.
So the, anyway, the grade change over, over that 1,200 feet, is it, how tall was the wall that you're removing?
This wall here varies. Here it's nothing, and then here it goes to 4 feet all the way back here. And the original wall was about 3.5 feet. So there's not a great deal of change in the wall height. We're just expanding it out, and the grade change wasn't really great between here and there.
Yep.
So this is the area of grade change. So if you were to say, yes, how much is the grade change, you would say that this area here is, basically we're adding about 3.5 feet to this grade from what it was before. So it's coming up. But 100% retainage of all water. This whole thing has 30 inches of crushed stone, of which this is all permeable. The water that falls on this will go directly in here and not impact this at all whatsoever. So
that's wetland, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they've already examined it, and they know the impact, and they're agreeing with what we proposed, saying that it'll be minimal impact, and that we're doing everything we can to help protect this existing environment, of which is beautiful, and I think this will enhance the beauty that's already here and make this a usable space. This right now is really not a backyard. It's like only 10 feet from the house, and this juts out a little bit. This allows for these people to really enjoy their backyard space, and we've done everything we can to help mitigate the issues that are occurring from us doing this by revegetating this, and also by putting in drainage so that we're not adding any additional water back there. Right? So, done a really good job at trying to,
Great.
Anyway.
Thank you. Any questions? I think it's lovely. I just hope you host a planning board pool party.
Well, I think the neighbors are expecting to come over by all those letters.
They do.
Local YMCA.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't encourage you to consider planting shade trees somewhere back there in the back of the lot. Not saying you have to. Just we've lost a lot of our town canopy, and the more shade trees that can be planted, the better. But that's neither here nor there. It's just my encouraging it.
We are really revegetating the area back there with plants that will do well. And I think there's beautiful existing trees that we're not touching that are one of a kind. I was there and saw a birch tree that I've never seen. I'm an arborist, so it's got a 2.5 foot diameter trunk on it, and the things only grow about probably 15 inches in diameter. This one is very unusual. So there are specimens back there already that really can be cherished and enjoyed, and we're not touching it.
Thank you.
So
thank you for not doing that.
I'm salvaging the pine tree. We're putting in special aeration tubes that go underneath the paving that will salvage the root system from pine.
Fantastic.
So
that's huge.
So I'm really understanding of what you're addressing.
One of my biggest concerns of all development in town, and so I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you. Thank you.
We're very sensitive to that.
Any additional questions or comments? Anybody want to make a motion?
I move to recommend favorable action on the grade change required for 5A Fernway.
I second that.
Any additional? Oh, let's get the motion down.
Got it. Okay.
Any additional discussion?
That was Mr. Cortez's who
Yes.
seconded it.
Roll call vote, and I'll start at the other side. Carrie?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
Nick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, votes unanimous. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm sorry I made you wait so long. I'm sorry I made those guys wait even longer. But thank you so much.
Step one.
And don't forget, planning board pool party. I'll put it on my calendar.
We'll have a pool party for you.
Have fun.
Thank you very much. I would like to, since we have nobody here for 36 Cambridge Street, and these gentlemen have waited here a long time, I would like to jump in our agenda past to Beauregard Beach and Friends of Wedge Pond. Welcome you guys to the table. I would apologize, but we're here too, so I only can apologize so much. Welcome you guys to the table. I'm going to give some, off this off a little bit of why you're here. The CPA, the WCCP is accepting proposals for projects, and one of the criteria they're using is support or endorsements by various boards and committees in town. So these gentlemen, who will introduce themselves in a second, are doing a project in town located adjacent to area that we are the special permit granting authority, which is in the CBD and in MBTA 3A. So they asked if they could come and try to seek our support for this project. The deadline for that support is, I believe, tomorrow. So introduce yourselves.
I move that we support the renovation to Beauregard Park with
Slow down.
Okay. Let's let them introduce themselves and explain what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I will say that up front, any support that we would do would ultimately, if we chose to so do, would be an email from us saying that we support this project, or nothing if we choose not to. So introduce yourselves and go ahead, and don't forget the mic.
Okay. My name is Bill Band. I'm a town meeting member for Precinct 5, and I'm also a member of the Conservation Commission. And we're leading at the I'll let Matt speak in a second, but the Conservation Commission is leading an effort to restore the shoreline and the water of Wedge Pond. And our initial focus for the last 2 years has been to reopen Elliott Park, which is an important green space and entryway to the North Main Street area, and that we took that in consideration when we picked that location to focus our work.
Hello, I'm Matt Gordon. I live at 26 Vine Street, which is right next to the Congregational Church, to the right of it. And is on Wedge Pond, and I am the president of the Friends of Wedge Pond. We are a 501c3 registered charity.
Great. So how did we get here? As I mentioned, and what are we asking for? So we, the Conservation Commission and the Friends of Wedge Pond have two separate requests for funding from the WCCP that are going through their evaluation process. The Conservation Commission, this may seem a little esoteric to the group, but is asking for funding to put in place a submerged aeration system into the pond, Wedge Pond, because that will improve the ecological health and the fish and habitat of the pond. And the Friends of Wedge Pond are putting forward a request to reopen Beauregard Beach Park, put in playground equipment and that kind of stuff, and open up public access. So what we, as Brian mentioned, we're looking and making rounds to the various committees and boards to hopefully get their support. And that doesn't mean voting. This will all happen at fall town meeting on a formal basis, but to test with the various stakeholders whether this is something that's congruent with your plans and interests. So as I mentioned, our focal point has been to remove the invasive species around all the public land around Wedge Pond. Where we're using it, volunteers to do that. That's where the Wedge Pond come in. And the invasive species on the land, there's, are the bittersweet and the trees of heaven and all those kind of bad things, so that the good kinds of plants can be replanted along the shoreline. In the water, the focus is getting rid of and controlling the algae blooms that are just, have been a bane of the water down there. And this is where the aeration system will help us. So if you want to talk a little bit about the other end of the pond.
Sure, and talk about the Beauregard project,
Yes.
right? Okay. So we also have a project for Beauregard Park, also known as Beauregard Beach, where it's got a few elements. So WinRec has plans to put 2 sand volleyball courts, and so we've actually been in coordination with them, and we've got a diagram that shows that in addition to volleyball, there used to be a playground there, and there's still some playground elements there that we would look to refurbish and add to. That would be a part of the effort. We would look to also provide some additional furniture, picnic tables. In fact, I was looking up some old pictures from 2011, 2012. There used to be at least 4 picnic tables there. They're gone, so we would provide new picnic tables, Adirondack chairs, just to provide open space for people to go sit and enjoy the view. You could also watch volleyball if you wanted to. And so a few other things we would, you may or may not know, there's a tall barbed wire fence right now in front of the bathhouse, or on each side of the bathhouse, that separates, and it's locked. You can't get into the waterfront. This project would remove that fence, replace it with a lower fence similar to Elliott Park, closer to the water, so that the park would be much more accessible. We would also put in a dock, and that people could use for fishing, could also use for kayaking and boating. People could put their boats in from that area, and we would paint the bathhouse, the exterior, and we also have plans to clear out. There's a few small rooms in the interior. The plan is to make it a bigger room so that it could be used for multiple purposes: nature center, community center, maybe birding center. So the goal is, and in our proposal, we're going to include pictures, especially when you look back at back in 2011, 2012, when the spray park was open, and you saw how much energy and excitement. We want to bring that back to Beauregard. That's our goal.
Thank you. So you guys are here tonight asking for support or endorsement
Yes.
of 2 distinct projects. One, which is the partial, somewhat restoration of Beauregard Park.
Yes.
And one, which is for aeration of the water.
Yes.
Would the aeration of the water ultimately result in swimmable water, or is that not the goal?
It's not the goal, but it would be supportive of that goal, because the main problem with the water is the uncontrolled algae.
Okay.
And so the Mystic River Watershed Association says that putting in these kind of aeration systems in these ponds that are impaired because they don't have good circulation inhibits the algae growth. It puts oxygen in for the wildlife. So you could see a day, and people poo-poo it, but you could see a day that if we get this under control, that you wouldn't have the toxic algae blooms, and someday maybe swimming could come back.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's well said, right? Longer term goal, shorter term, trying to be pragmatic. Swimming's not the short term goal, but boating, fishing, yeah, it is.
Okay.
And that, the aeration was just $41,000?
Yeah, so basically it's 18 submerged units that are distributed through the, Wedge Pond is 21 acres. So they're weighted, they're distributed through the entire pond bottom, and the water or the electricity will come from from Beauregard Beach, where and there's small compressors that don't make a lot of noise, and they run during the season and turn the water over and so forth. But that's basically.
But literally aerate the water.
Yeah.
Because I remember back in I think it was the 90s when my kids were pretty young, and we went down there, and they had something. There was a tire that floated out.
Still on the beach, turned over sideways.
It was a big fountain.
This is a little bit more high tech.
Okay.
Than that. And this is an idea that has been around for decades, but there's never been capital funding available, and now we're going for that from the WCCP. And
So most of those aerators would be at I guess that'd be the west end of the pond?
Well, they're
Or scattered
there's
around?
18. They're all over the whole entire pond.
Okay.
And they're in the bottom of the pond.
They basically bubble up, so it's not going to be 18 fountains.
No, I
there's no
understand.
Just
It would be kind of neat, though.
We're not trying to turn it into
Caesar's
a
Palace or something.
Would you have lights too? So
Exactly.
It's not going to be fun.
something for the holidays too.
The question we have before us is, given where this is and given the time, is this something that we want to recommend, show our support for, given the location of this, and given it's adjacent to or within areas that are that where the special permit granting authority of, or granted not in the water and not on the beach, but it's adjacent to
It's the environment, yeah.
So the question is, do we want to support these? And if so, somebody make a motion to do so and authorize the chair to write a letter on behalf of whatever you say.
So moved.
Seconded. It's getting later.
For
We're
both
getting
projects, to
faster.
be clear?
Yes.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
I will
Thank you.
work with you to get something to the WCCP tomorrow.
Oh, you have to send it to.
I send it to you?
You send both of them to me, and then I'll split
It's a
them
grant
into the
application.
right packages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah.
So it's 2 letters or 1?
It is 2.
It's 2.
One for the one for one for each project. Got it. Okay.
I feel authorized to do that based on the motion that we got.
The other project was that. How much was the other one?
Oh yeah, like right now, and we're still finalizing the number. Our goal is to keep it around 50,000. I mean, we're trying to keep the numbers on the low end, and then potentially in the future, we would come back, but continue to come back maybe in $50,000 increments.
I mean,
and after we see how it goes and learn. So
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you. With that, keep us on task, which I sort of did a good job on. Let's go back to 36 Cambridge Street, and we do not have the petitioners here tonight. So Ian, you could tell us what is involved in 36 Cambridge Street and what we have to decide.
So the petitioners at 36 Cambridge are seeking a special permit under sections 9.4 and 3.5.5 to construct a story-and-a-half addition as well as a single-story side addition to a pre-existing non-conforming single-family home. So the lot size is smaller than what is required by the zoning bylaw, which is 16,150 square feet. Zoning requires 20,000 feet. Additionally, the front yard setback is 30 feet when 35 is required. So they're proposing, this is not creating a new nonconformity, but it's extending an existing one. So you're voting on favorable action.
Thank you.
Special. Yep.
I would observe. I drove by there today, and the house is right up against a very steep hill that goes up to Fernway, and I don't know that they have any leeway to go any back further. So I certainly would cut them some slack on the front setback. They can't go back at all. That literally goes like this. And it's heavily wooded, Brian.
Yeah, no.
No.
You know where I stand up. Hey, I might as well at least be known for what
I
I'm.
love that I'm no longer the Lorax of the group. So pleased.
Yeah.
Co-Loraxes.
Yeah. I thought exactly. There's really no. And yeah. If that hill and what comes down from it is the house is coping with it well enough now,
yes,
I wouldn't go digging. I wouldn't be excited about digging into it. And
Feels like emotions brewing, John.
I have no opposition to this. I thought it seemed reasonable. It's not making a huge house. It's making a house that's reasonable. It's actually.
What's the size of the new house?
It's under 3,600 square feet. We aren't.
Yeah, the only question is the setback.
The setback.
The
is
front
question.
setback.
And they're already a little too close. We're just letting them drag it down the street a little bit.
Yeah.
You know.
And go up.
Right, but not, they're not, yeah.
I mean, do we know what the new square footage is? Or just,
It's probably known.
In the summary?
I just know it's not 3,600 square feet.
But I
Then
think
we'd be
this-
looking at site plan review.
This might be a 5,000-foot neighborhood,
Oh, true.
I think on that.
It is certainly, if you look at the renderings, it's smaller than some of those houses because it's, across from the boat club.
Sure.
Those houses there
They just
are
hang on
monstrous
that,
and
yes.
they tower over everything.
Well, this says here that it's a non-conforming lot because it's a 16,000 square foot lot in a 20,000 square foot district.
And that I'm certain that's at least a 5 or 6,500 square foot district.
Yeah,
That part of the west
I
part.
think it's just the setback.
Yeah, this is, I'm fine
Okay.
with it.
Is there a motion that would potentially include why we would approve the special permit, like no negative impact on the neighborhood or no increased negative impact or whatever?
I moved to approve the special permit because the constraints of the lot limit the owner's options in creating a building that is nicely scaled and designed for the neighborhood.
Second.
You can change nicely if you want to.
We'll wait for the typing.
little creative
I
license.
That was a lot of words there.
I tried to go slow.
Constraints of the lot, what?
Limit the owner's options for a design that is appropriate and well scaled for the neighborhood.
Got it.
We have a motion and a second.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Okay.
Additional discussion? Roll call vote. Nick?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Jack?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Vote is unanimous. Thank you, Ian. So with that, we are going to move into the employee performance evaluation for the town planner. I don't want to belabor this point because it's 9:30 at night and I think everybody's tired. But I think it's important to, we spent a lot of time for those watching at home. There's nobody left in the audience. Each member of the board filled out an employee performance evaluation for Taylor. We then consolidated everything here into one evaluation because it's the board evaluating Taylor, not individuals. In addition to evaluating, we looked at the goals that were set last year. We also received from Taylor at our last meeting, or subsequent to our last meeting, his opinion on how he had done on his assessment, his self-assessment on completion of his goals. And I think that there was good alignment between what the board felt and what you represented in your self-assessment. We felt you had completed goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, and goal 5. We thought goal 4, which was a document storage system, and maybe finding a way to avoid getting 400 pages of hydrodynamic data.
I like that these are anonymous. That's great.
Still in progress. And we also agreed that your plan to attain AICP, which stands for something,
American Institute of Certified Planners.
Thank you, was in progress. Hopefully that can be attained. And I think those aligned fairly well with your self-assessment, but I'll give you a chance to speak in a moment. I'm not going to go through the rest of this, but there's part 2 is performance standards. And the board felt that you exceeded expectations in all 4 areas. The 5th area being safety. It's not clear that safety is really something, it's applicable. And so we did, you got an A on that. The board looked at your core responsibilities, all 6 areas, and again concluded that you exceeded expectations in all 6 of those areas. Again, you've had a chance to look this all over, so this should not be any surprise for you. What I would like to do for the record is read it into the record the overall performance summary, which was made by taking quotes from everybody on the board who filled out their surveys, their performance evaluations, and put them into writing. And then I consolidated them, hopefully capturing a bit of what everyone said and trying to avoid any editorializing my own. So hopefully it's what you all agree with. So I'm going to read this. Collectively, we find that Taylor demonstrates significant strengths in his role as town planner, consistently performing tasks with high quality and insightful analysis. He impresses us with calm, quote, calm poise, confidence, broad understanding of the role, and, quote, consistently performs his required tasks on time and with an eye towards high quality. He, quote, helps guide us through the more technical zoning issues in connection with petitions. Furthermore, he is proactive in many areas, for example, as he, quote, worked to create a formal process for the roadway improvement plans. His ability to, quote, deftly lead a planning department while keeping 5 non-professionals on the planning board up to speed is highly valued by the board, and his success in, quote, helping steward the MSMD and MBTA 3A initiatives, both of which were overwhelmingly approved by town meeting and the state, demonstrate a, quote, extraordinarily successful year, far exceeding expectations. There are always opportunities for growth. We encourage Taylor to, quote, continue to find his voice, and, quote, to lead more discussions at the table, especially when he is the expert on a topic at hand. It would also be beneficial for him to, quote, share more of what it takes place behind the scenes with the board, including, quote, important updates to the town and state as soon as he has them so that no one on the board is surprised by news. We encourage Taylor to continue to approach all development applications with an open mind and consider being, quote, more proactive and geared up to hire design consultants. Lastly, we encourage Taylor to continue to, quote, work on knowledge and experience of the law and always be open to learning more about architectural history. Finally, Taylor's interpersonal skills and ability to get along with others are a strong asset. He is, quote, incredibly personable and incredibly responsive to all requests and, quote, delightful to work with, responsive to requests, thoughtful in his approach to our work. It is clear that, quote, everyone who encounters Taylor conveys how knowledgeable and friendly he is. Overall, we feel that Taylor is, quote, a very valuable team member, and we should do what we need to retain him. And that, quote, we are lucky to have Taylor, especially given the many transitions coming to town. With that, I would open up to members of the board if they would like to add anything or if they feel that I didn't accurately capture what they felt that they would like to add.
I think it's well covered. We love you to pieces. You're doing great. You're juggling a lot and you're performing admirably. Don't leave us. We're really losing too many good people right now.
I should have written that.
Yeah.
I would have done better. But,
this is your best negotiating moment ever.
So with that, I would turn it to you and ask you if you have any questions, if you have any areas that you disagree with what we wrote, or if you agree with what we wrote, or if you have anything you'd like to add.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. This board, previous boards I've worked with. I think that, you know, I'm really thankful and happy to be, doing the work that I'm doing. I like it a lot, and I think that's special. Not everyone gets to say that. And I also get to work with great people. You all, other members of other boards. The work isn't always easy, but you all make it easier. I especially want to thank the chairs, Ryan, previously Carrie and Diab before. The amount of work that you put in is tremendous. I think people know how much work goes into, but I think it is mostly an afterthought for most of the community, and you're doing really great work. And you've all been very easy to work with as well. So I don't have any more to add now, but thank you all. And I think we should, as we set goals, I think that will be important to, you know, pursuing and making sure that we achieve those next year and the years to come.
Thank you very much. We are very happy to have you, and we're happy to have you happy as well.
Fortunate to have you.
So one of the things that we don't have now is a mutually agreed upon goals for the 25-26 year. And seeing as it's 9:35, we are not going to agree upon them tonight. So I would like to propose that that Taylor, at your convenience, you could get something to us of things that you think might be useful, and we will add an agenda item to discuss this at our next meeting. If we're able to get it done by our next meeting, that's great. And if we're not able to, then it will become an addendum. It'll be attached to this when we vote on that. But I don't think there's any reason to hold this performance value up from voting to get that moved forward. So, is everybody in agreement?
Yep, that's great.
So I would welcome a motion to approve the employee performance evaluation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. Vote is unanimous. Thank you very much. And we are just about done. Any additional business not known at the time of posting that someone wants to present at 9:36 p.m.?
Go ahead.
Are you moving to adjourn? No. What are you doing?
No, I had one quick piece. Taylor and I met with Ken Pruitt and Tom Kennedy last Monday to talk about potentially incentivizing sustainable housing. And Tom was kind of cold to the whole idea, saying that in his entire career as a building inspector, both Winchester and Lexington, he never had a applicant come looking for something like that. He's very skeptical that we even need it. But he was open to the idea of considering a different calculation of FAR and multi-unit housing. For instance, at present, FAR is calculated on the external dimensions. But if we were to, somebody were to come to us and say they wanted to do a sustainable building for multifamily, and they needed thicker walls to get better insulation, that we could consider, if I'm getting this right, Taylor, that we could consider a amendment to the bylaw that would allow for the FAR to be measured by the interior dimensions.
Does that affect the setbacks too?
We didn't get that far.
No, typically, no, the setbacks are like...
But in terms of meeting the FAR ceiling.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, great.
so he thought that would be a good idea. I mean, I think I kind of threw that out. I wasn't sure how that was calculated. He confirmed my suspicion. So that's something we might want to look into. But again, he's saying he just doesn't get any applications. So
Perhaps because there's no incentive to get the application.
I don't know. What's the chicken and what's
Well,
the
there's
egg?
that,
Yeah,
what
fair.
you're kind of
I
proposing.
think it's just ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
I think it's just early. So it's
Yeah.
good to percolate on it, but I don't think there's much urgency.
No, there's no urgency.
I think what you're... I don't think that actually would kind of get you where you want to go, because you want to give them an incentive to do it, and all you're really doing is saying you'll be able to stay even.
Yeah.
You won't lose square footage because you decided to do that.
Precisely, that's the point.
Right, but I think you want to, by incentive, you want to like get something they wouldn't ordinarily get. If they built a house that wasn't sustainable, they could have, say, 5,000 feet,
Yeah.
right? If they build sustainable, then they lose 300. Well, why don't we just make it cheaper and easier, just build a regular house?
That's
I'm
what Tom said.
going to hold on to hope that informs a bundle of definition changes that we bring to probably Springtown meeting.
Yeah, I think the way we calculate, I think there are a bunch of things that we could use some more clarification on calculating interior space. We have different standards for different buildings.
Grade change,
In
how many
grade
grade
change,
changes do we see that we don't need to see?
It's something that deserves more than one line across the page. And I've been looking at other towns, and they have interesting ways. Many of them address the kind of issue I think we're trying to address, and they have different ways to do it.
I'm sorry to bring up one other item, but State of the Town needs, they're calling it different tax districts. I don't know where they're coming from with that, but we need to give them some estimate of potential growth along at least North Main. So based on the fact that we allowed zero we did not allow 0 commercial on North Main. We should assume some % commercial and guess what the build out for the chart. We have the table. We just need to figure out roughly what they just need a number for growth projections. And that is not my wheelhouse. So I need help from one or both of you.
So are they looking for instance, if 972, we're not debating the merits of it, if they put in 14 units and commercial, what is the tax revenue from that?
Yeah, they just growth. So we sort of built them a table of properties that are like 0 to 5 year, probably turnover 5 to 10 years. So if we can just say, the 0 to 5 year properties would probably generate at least whatever. So just lowball it and give them a number.
Okay.
I think that would be helpful.
So when are they looking for that?
Well, that is fuzzy.
Always yesterday, right?
Horace wants it yesterday. My group, probably a few weeks is great. So whenever's convenient, but probably I just wanted to mention it before the August 9th meeting because we should
be on vacation starting Saturday through August 9th. So
yeah, so
either this week or it's not.
I'm away the same Friday to August 9th.
Yeah, I mean, we have the table. We just need to figure out. I don't know who the.
Looks like you and me.
Oh.
I can meet this week.
That's great. No,
okay.
it's fine. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's just like sitting and hammering out the math of it.
Well,
it's just sort of like, what's the
guesstimating?
Yeah.
It's really, I mean, it just seems so long before you could ever get any of that revenue. I mean, projects would have to happen.
Yeah, but we have parcels that are interested. So if we can just be like, that will probably be lowing, like let's say the low number is like 10 plus 50% commercial. Let's just that, and then by square footage. Like, I don't think it has to be.
I mean, it's just
so that they're crunching all the numbers across town. And then we should substantiate the fact that light industrial is kind of static for tax, even though we'll do some changes to uses at some point, probably.
Okay. Thank you for adding.
I'm also happy to move to adjourn. Anyone?
I would welcome that unless there's anybody else. I'll second that. Motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, WinCam. Thank you so much for staying up late with us. Although it's not as late as...